Sure, why not? I'll play it. What could go wrong, right? There's only zombies and guns. Big ass robots.
This is just a classic case leadership situation. You've got a trusted commander, proven leader. By the way, a Medal of Honor recipient that just freaking led the holding of the Round Tops, maybe a year prior.
Somewhere's in here.
This guy is respected, and they went to multiple battles in between. So here he is, and he's saying, hey, boss, I don't think this is a good idea. And you say, shut up and go. And this is the result. So when your subordinates are pushing back, don't think that you're right and they're wrong.
Do his merch.
Maybe think that they're right and you're wrong. Is there a chance you're right? Maybe. But where's Grant? Where's Grant right now? I don't know where he is.
Yeah, man.
He's probably in the rear somewhere with the gear.
Where's your landing guy, man? What is going on?
He's in the rear with the gear. I'm out here on the front line. I'm observing the enemy positions. I can see how they're laid up. I understand the terrain way better than Grant does. And now he's telling me, no, you know what? You shut up and charge. Don't worry, the Army's going to have your back. Bro, no. Let's not do that.
We had one today. It was like Nikki does one with like the military.
By the way, if there was some reason,
need people
and I can articulate, if I say, "Hey, Jason, I want you to assault this thing," and you go, "Hey, boss, doesn't look like a good idea," and I say, "Hey, the reason I'm having you assault that is because as you assault that, we're actually sending some troops over here to this other position, and that's our main objective." And you go, "Got it." If you can articulate that, okay. But if you can't even articulate a reason other than, hey, shut up and do what I told you, that's probably not a good indication. If your best defense
I'd imagine
in an argument is to say, shut up and do what I told you, that's probably an indication that you don't have a good argument because you're probably wrong.
Inside of that environment where it's like insanity. How come it doesn't work that way?
So this is the kind of lessons that we can learn from a leader. And you know what, Chamberlain, here's a discredit to Chamberlain.
They're supposed to all have them.
Hey, I'm not going. Hey, well, I'm not doing this. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going to go talk to Grant. I'm leaving right now. Could he have pushed back harder? He sent one note. Could he have pushed back harder?
Maybe he thought that the Army was actually coming in on the right.
When you get really good at it.
If he has a relationship with Grant and he's like, okay, I buy that maybe they're coming in and he's got a bigger plan for me, and that's probably why.
Yeah, and that seemed to gratify him. That, okay, if you're going to hit them with the, just like I just said to you, like, hey, Jason, you just sold that. You're like, hey, bro, this is a good idea. And I say, yeah, but don't worry, I'm going to get your flank over here. We're going to run them up. And you go, cool, got it. Because now you know that you're going to have to commence the assault, make some progress, but then you're going to get relief very quickly, and we're going to have the upper hand very quickly. So now you understand it, and it makes sense. So, yeah, maybe that was the case. What we can learn from that is there's a time to push back, and there's a time to push back hard.
Yeah. Well, there's a reality to whether the Army is right in here to say any MOS in town.
Ask earnest questions.
I've worked with a lot of military personnel,
either
4
way,
years, 6 years.
You're losing. When you push back, there's a way to push back.
Mechanics are usually their big ones. State
troopers
come through on town.
Leadership capital with the police. And if I tell you to shut up and do something, I'm losing a ton of leadership capital too, and you have to realize that. So two things are important. One is make sure that you're building up leadership capital with everybody around you so that you can actually make withdrawals on that bank account because you built it up.
You know what's weird is I just kind of like left myself out in the air. I left my flank. I said, there's a time to push back, and there's a... And I was like, wait.
In all due respect.
Because to me, there's always a time to push back. If you're telling me to do something stupid... Now look, if we're in a firefight, and you look at me and you say, hey, Jocko, get in that building over there, I'm going to do it unless I see something crazy. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to push back then because we're at the moment of truth, right?
Sit-ups.
Those
okay, but that's
drill
drill sergeant, not the RN in town working the 65-year-old on the base.
I have to just trust you. Now look, we built trust over time. So if you tell me to take that building,
E0,
I know you're telling it to me for a good reason.
E8, so the second it cracks
I guess
in there,
there's a time to push
you got
back.
That.
I guess the other
E1,
part of that is there's a time to make sure you understand the bigger picture. Because you either have to push back, or you ask the question, say, wait a second, Jocko, why do you want me to assault that building? It doesn't make any sense. And I say, here's why. Because as you assault that building, we're going to commence these other operations. It's going to keep the enemy distracted, and then we're going to have the upper hand. And you go, okay, cool, got it. So there's a time to push back. There's a time to check yourself and make sure you understand the bigger picture yourself. And if there's no bigger picture, the bigger picture doesn't makes sense, then maybe you have to say, look, I'm not doing
This
this.
is tough.
On the
It's like this
battlefield, though,
research. They're teaching it in school right now. I hear
everybody's a
about
chess
transistors.
piece.
If you're not real
And
careful,
it
it's
may
like
be
what you
that
don't know
you're
it.
gonna-
And it's a point about the first
your
thing you
chess
got to
piece
do is
getting
go
taken,
to
and
all
that's
the
probably
big
what he
keys,
realized.
something
That,
on the
okay,
internet.
well, he told me they're coming from the right, and this is lousy for us,
They might be mad at
but
me
they're
when I get
willing
there.
to make that
I
sacrifice.
went survival model or Dakota
It's
Hole.
really
or,
difficult to parse apart.
Yeah,
you got to be careful.
it is difficult to parse apart. I mean, we could probably find more research and get more information behind the decision-making process.
Well,
but the
I mean,
lesson is very clear.
I've
And look,
had my
you're right.
pick
There's times
more
where,
than a couple of times.
especially in an all-out war like this, hey, this chess
Auto
piece,
drop.
just like in chess, literally, sometimes you move the knight and it gets taken by the bishop, but now the bishop
You're
is in
standing here,
a
turning it, cutting
blocked
it.
position.
Five
So you
guys,
made the good move.
me
You sat.
at night
There
on
are
third
times
shift,
in
running
battle
the
where
truth
that
tables.
happens. I mean, when you look at D-Day,
Yeah.
some of those
the maintenance
initial
squad.
people hitting the beaches, they
Well,
were
you can
in
only
a
go to
huge
Schaefer, though.
situation
It's like
to
that's
be
only gonna go to
sacrificed.
gunnery
That's what was
sergeant
about to
or
happen. Look,
anything
were they
else.
suicide? No, not quite. But damn, that should be very rare.
When they're telling him to hold the left flank on Little Round
Wow,
Pond,
the Fed safety guy is
but that needs no
so
explanation,
bad,
right?
Just
That needs no
so
explanation.
bad.
Hey, you didn't
need
even
work
need to
for
ask why.
Conquest
Oh, this is
out.
we're on the extreme.
You
That's what
didn't
Vincent says to
salty
him.
about
You're on the extreme left. Do
harassment.
you understand? He's like, yes, I
And
understand.
your
I know what
time
that
for
means.
work fraud
That means
cases,
if I go,
specifically the legal
if I fall, we
use.
all fall.
Yeah.
We love what we do. Representation matters.